must be sky high after Lords.
Most certainly was. Everyone sort of played a role in the game, and out of that, everyone's come out of it pretty well. So spirit is very high, belief is high, which is probably most important in any team sport. And they're ready for the second test. That's gone, and we've gone and buried, and we look forward to what should be a great game here.
Did it surprise you how much difficulty England had playing with Rixon?
No, not really. No, not really. I think most countries around the world play wristies quite poorly, to be honest. So to see someone master it and play them well is always a treat to see, but I haven't seen a lot that do that yet.
Steve, as someone reasonably new to the Pakistan setup, did that performance at Lords exceed expectations?
It was reward. It was reward for a lot of hard work that's been done beforehand. There was obviously a boot camp back in Pakistan. There was a lot of good hard work done at Hampshire. A couple of very good settling games to get us underway. So the spirit was good. Most of the batsmen had a good hit, so they were in good shape. It was just a matter of establishing the bowling order, and that's sort of got it sorted out. So. No, not really. No, it hasn't. It's you can see the ability in this group of youngsters and a couple of more senior, but it's a pleasure to work with the enthusiasm they're showing and their enjoyment of the game. And when you saw record crowds at Lords, which was just great. These guys were showing their worth at the home cricket. It was just an absolutely brilliant affair. And here in Manchester, I'd like to think the crowds will be the same to support a lot of there'll be a lot of Pakistanis here, I would have thought.
Do you think these conditions here and the reputation of Old Trafford will suit Yasser even more here?
I think it'll suit both forms of our attack. I think our seamers will do very well here with that extra bounce. They had a role to play in the last game. Probably didn't start as well as they would have liked, nor the off-field staff would like, but generally speaking, Yasser will have a major effect in any game of cricket. And it doesn't have to turn a lot for him to have that. When you've got that magnificent control, you own the game. And there's very few over the years that have been able to have that control. Shane Warne was obviously one, and Yasser is rightfully sitting at the top of the tree with the bowlers at the moment for that reason.
There's a bit of hoo-ha going on behind the scenes with England over whether Jimmy Anderson should have played. Have you, as a group, been aware of what's been going on there and a bit of a sort of a row developing there?
Yeah, absolutely, but that's not really of any concern to us. It doesn't worry us. What we've got is our group of youngsters and getting them up to speed and building a culture with this new group under the management we've got. So we're very happy with what's been happening so far. And look, Jimmy Anderson's a great bowler, and he'll be a treat at any side.
I'm just giving your experience of really helping to select sides, giving your experience. Do you understand almost when there is caution, or should it almost a bowler's word be his bond really as he tries to play?
Not going to enter into it, but it's a fine line. It's a very, very fine line. Yeah, it's debatable.
Alexander?
Yep. It was a sort of similar thing, but it just kind of, when you beat a team and then you see a lot of debate about the opposition and the makeup of their side, etc., does it feel like an extra sort of win as a touring side to watch a home side sort of caving in on themselves? And also, what kind of, are you expecting now a step up with Anderson and Stokes back into the England team in terms of the quality of opposition?
Absolutely. Yeah, look, I mean, they're two very fine cricketers. I've seen a lot of them over a lot of years with different sides. So both fine cricketers, and they will add to the England attack and the overall composition of the side. So no, we're expecting as hard a game as we're to get for the whole series right here.
And is it nice to see the sort of the pressure being on the home side now? That's part of the benefit of it?
I don't actually see it that way. Having won, I think the pressure's probably on us. So we need to get our game in order. If we do that and we win here, it's happy days. But if we lose here and the momentum swings the other way, we've got two games at Birmingham and also at the Oval, which create a lot of pressure for our youngsters. So it's very important that we get it right here. And what we've learned out of the first test at Lords is how to win, and that's very, very important. We've got to bring that into our A game here.
It's a long time ago, Steve, but do you see any similarities between what's happening now when you won here against the odds with New Zealand in 1999 and all sorts of questions about internal things that are happening in the England camp?
Absolutely, yeah, I do. It's funny, I've actually been relating to a few Kiwi friends of mine, and they said, is there a similarity? And I said, yeah, I think deep down there is. And the belief moving out of that first test back in '99 into the second test where we won at Lords and went on to win the series was was pretty important. And this here sort of has that same sort of feel, except we've started on the right boat and we don't want to swing around the opposition way. So it is important that we play well here.
Steve, you mentioned that boot camp and then everyone saw the salutes and press-ups and what have you at Lords. Do you think maybe it was a bit of a sort of masterstroke, bringing that in mentally and physically for those teams, to bonded them together a bit?
Well, it obviously did make a big difference. I wasn't there for the boot camp because I was a late starter with the group, but made up ground since, and I've got a big job to play with these boys. However, it certainly had an impact on the guys, and I think it was just part of an overall culture change for them, and we've got to now rebuild that culture to make sure that everybody's on the same page.
So just on Mohamed Amir, I mean, he had the final say there with all the scrutiny on him in the build-up. Do you feel that, he can well and truly move on now, having got that almost comeback game out of the way?
Most definitely, and I do congratulate the Lords crowd again, because they actually embraced him. They didn't. They could have made it very hard for him, and they were very good. So fair play to them.
You already talked about succession planning. I noticed you said earlier that there are a good bunch of youngsters, but actually there are some relatively quite senior guys in that side, and it's not clear who's coming up behind them really.
As far as players coming in,
Yeah.
I'd actually like the mix, and I think Misbah sort of made his statement very clear that he's still capable of scoring runs at this level, and not just in the UAE. So that's now a myth. I did also mention the elderly with the youngsters. I did make that mention.
Well, when someone, I mean, I agree with you. Misbah's a legend, obviously, but he is 42, and you have to look at the next chapter, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm probably not the right person, having just come on board and not being in the mix back home. We'll see a lot of the T20 and also the one-day players come through. I'm sure there'll be another couple of guys that will come out of those sides. I've heard names, but until I actually lay my eyes on them and see them playing games, I'm probably not in a position to be able to make a judgment on them. But I'm sure in a place like Pakistan, there's plenty of guys that want to play cricket for their country.
Did you enjoy the celebration at the end of the game?
One-off, yeah, it's a one-off, and probably won't be seen again. But end result is, it was something that they, through Misbah, was initiated by the skip, and he just sort of made a little pledge to himself, and it's very good.
Did you know it was coming? Or
No, none of us.
Spontaneous, really.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so it's something that you see in all sports, and as I said, it's a one-off thing that's been done and dusted, and we move on.
Can I ask you felt a knee operation, or
Knee?
Yeah. Knee.
Yeah, the inside of the body's not so good. No, a full knee replacement.
That was when?
A couple of months ago, yeah. So if I'm propping around, that's the reason. It's not my old age.
Well, you've got a fair bit of moving back.
Yeah. I've done a lot of rehab on it. I was probably a month off, being a lot better than I should have. But now I'm into the swing of things here. It's just another day at the office.
So can I ask you a security question? Given your experience of going to Pakistan, we've seen that there are now almost bulletproof coaches that could be laid on for visiting teams. I mean, it's a shame that Pakistan don't stage matches. What's your own views on teams ultimately returning to Pakistan? Yeah,
look, once again, I'm probably not in a very good position to answer that as well. And probably, to be fair, I think I'd better let that go as well. But I think in the overall interest of cricket around the world, and with a cricket side that is actually playing quite good test match cricket, it'd be nice to see them play in their home country and get the support that they have. So, but security is a major issue, and that's always going to be the way it is.
I was going to say, I mean, with you playing the way that you are and the passion for the game, to not have home test matches or internationals is a real setback, really, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's a disappointment, yeah, of course. Yeah. But the UAE has been very good, and they've catered for every whim that Pakistan cricket has required.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.